Welcome to the Mind Body Podcast. I'm your host, Maria Angelova, and I'm here to challenge everything you have been told about aging and wellness. This podcast is for those who refuse to accept that growing old means growing unhealthy. Each week, I will bring you dynamic conversations with inspirational guests, sharing practical advice, insights, and motivation to live your life rebelliously as you age with grace and vitality. This is your time to embrace self-care, transformation, and an infectious spirit that says no to the conventional and yes to a vibrant, powerful life. Let's dive in and redefine what it means to live well. Hi, Rebels, and welcome to the Mind Body Podcast with me, your host, Maria. Today, we are going to talk a favorite topic of mine, and that is the topic of push versus flow. And specifically, when you work out and when you move, do you push or do you flow? And then how can you take that concept and evaluate? How do you live life? Do you push or do you flow? Because I will tell you from having worked with hundreds of people that the way that you show up in the workout room is the way that you show up in life. And if you're like, what? Super, just stay tuned and let's talk about it. So, what do I mean push versus flow? So this is specifically great for those of you who have workouts that are very highly intense in like speed or weights, where you're really, I want to use the word like almost straining your body to accomplish what you're asking it to do. Now, first of all, how do you know if the movement or the workout that you're doing is great for you? Well, your body is very clear about it. So, do you finish your workout and you go, I feel amazing. I feel taller. I feel my core is more engaged. I feel more body aware. I feel like I can take a deeper breath. I feel like energized and mobile and recharged, and I have vital energy moving through me. That's scenario one. Or you finish your workout and you feel like a truck has run over you and you're like, man, my back is killing me. My neck is pulling. My hip does not feel great. My knee is iffy or my ankle is iffy. And I feel absolutely drained and exhausted. And you're like, I don't know if that was good for my body or not. Well, let me tell you, if you're asking yourself that question, you have a very clear answer. Does that make sense? So, one of the easiest ways to tell if you're pushing. And you can take that outside of the workout room, but let's just use a workout in this episode as an example. So you're doing an exercise, and for those of you who are on audio, I am right now going to clench my fists, tense my shoulders up, squeeze my eyes, and clench my teeth into like effort. That is like tension all over your body. And that could be because you're struggling, let's say, to lift a weight, or you have done so many reps and you're like, you can't do that next rep and you feel like your neck is starting to pull, but you have to finish your rep because, there are people watching you, or what are people going to think if you don't finish your rep? You're weak, you get into your head, that inside voice gets loud. And frequently that's how you injure yourself. If you ever experience that is pushing. Now, you might say, wait a second, I do a workout that is highly intense. And yes, I am pushing. All right. I encourage you, when you're doing your workout, to tap into that breath, to connect that breath to your gut. And when you do your exhale, to try to exhale and let that exhale give you that power without you straining. And if right now you're like, what the heck did you just say? Try it. You can try it when you're in your workout. You can try it when you're doing your running. You can try if you're playing tennis, when you're hitting that, ball. You can try it when you are golfing. You can try it when you're lifting weights. You can try it when you're adding intensity. Tap into that breath and see if that breath would allow you to go a little bit deeper without you pushing. That's a big one, you guys. The other sign of pushing is you might find some of your muscles, and those of you who are athletes or athletic would understand. There is a difference of a muscle working, and there is a difference of a muscle burn that does not feel good, that it's like, oh, it's burning so bad, I have to let it go or it's going to cramp. If it's the later one, that's like you're overdoing it. What if you can do your workout, your movement, while you ensure that the muscles are working, but they're not being almost like injured is the word that comes to mind. Because if you're repetitively doing that, what's going to happen to a muscle is going to start shortening, and then that's going to result into a whole slew of compensations. So when you move, and let's say you're doing crunches, you're curling up and you're curling up and releasing down and curling up and releasing down, and you're starting to feel the front of your thighs burning. That, my dear ones, is a compensation. And most of us who sit too long nowadays do not need to be tightening those hip flexor muscles because they're already tight from sitting. So now when you're doing those crunches, you are forcing or reinforcing a problem that is already happening into your body. That's an example. When you're doing your crunches, you are likely feeling that, and you're like, oh man, I am feeling more of the front of my thighs than my abs. That is a compensation. Now, let's say I'm working with a private client and I see that. And I'll tell them, reduce your range of motion or slow it down, right? These are variables that we can use to modify the workout so that you tap more into your abs instead of the front of your thighs. Some people do it. The chances of you just automatically doing it are very slim. Let's just put that out there. And some people are really struggling with the directive, the fact that they have to reduce the range of motion or go slower because their mind gets really loud. Why? Because most of us are taught to push in life. Most of us are taught to go really grand, despite the fact that it's not serving us. And that is the fascinating part of how movement and mindset work together. The fascinating part of how body and mind are tied together. So if you're somebody who is pushing through a workout, there are pretty decent chances that you're not flowing through life. And if that's the case, there is a limiting belief behind it. And what is that belief? I don't know, it's your belief. I will tell you, speaking from my experience of where I started, because I used to be the queen of HIIT workouts. And I can push. And for me, fitness was a way to retrospectively looking kind of like abusing my body. It was all about intensity and, how fast I can go and how many reps I can do. And honestly, what size I would be. Because I got into the gym because kids were making fun of me for my developing curves. So fitness became for me a way of looking a particular way. And I pause because I want you to reflect. What does fitness mean to you? I will tell you how my story behind fitness and why do I believe that we have a big opportunity to redefine fitness. I actually call it movement because to me, movement today is not about the range, not about the speed, not about the weight. It is about me feeling great into my body as I move and feeling even greater when I stop moving. Because when your body moves properly and in alignment and the right muscles fire up biomechanically properly, guess what? The aches and pains go away. And as you start tapping into that secret of movement, into that art of movement. And I call it an art of movement because it doesn't happen in a session or two or three. We have to adjust the body. We have to take, if we have any maladaptations into the way we move, introduce the new ways, make the new ways the intuitive ways of how the body moves. And then we have to work through whatever is happening into the head that is telling us of it's okay to not push. And that we apply not only on the mat or in the workout room, but we apply that then in life, which is where is the magic of the Angelova Method. It is body and it is mind. Hey Rebels, I want to take a quick moment to share something super exciting with you. If you've been feeling stuck, disconnected, or just know there is more to life than what you're experiencing, I have something special for you. I have created a powerful 6-step video series called Unleash Your Potential, an introduction to the Angelova Method. As a valued mind-body podcast listener, the series is my gift to you. In this series, I will guide you through the core elements of the Angelova Method, a unique approach that integrates movement, mindset, and mastery to help you align your body, mind, and life. You will learn practical techniques to improve your alignment, boost your core strength, and connect deeply to your inner self. Whether you're looking to enhance your physical health, gain mental clarity, or simply live more fully, these videos are designed to get you started on the path to your most vibrant self. And the best part? It's completely free. So if you're ready to break through barriers and unleash your full potential, head over to mindbodyexpert.com and get started today. Let's take this journey together, because you, my rebel, deserve nothing less than the extraordinary. So again, going back to how do I define movement? It's about feeling great. It's about feeling strong. It's about maintaining mobility into my body as I age. And when I flow, I would tell you guys, I have no desire to push into my workout. And I do have a competitive nature. And sometimes people are like, do you want to do that? And I'm like, oh, yes. And I'm like, on a second thought, no. Because you know what? I don't need to get injured. I don't need to prove anything to anybody. I want to stay healthy and mobile and be able to be active and enjoy life. And that shift of push through flow, I will tell you what happens with people's faces. When they tap into that proper movement, into that alignment and the right muscles kicking in, I hear feedback such as, oh man, this is easy, or wow, this feels great. My favorite way is when I see it in their face. They don't even see anything. You just see that tension that I talked about into the beginning. The tension literally melts away and a smile creeps up. Now, I'm not saying that they're not working deep or that they're not getting a workout, because when you tap into that and then you tap into the depth of the movement, because all of the work that I teach, it's, the fitness does not come from how fast we go. It does not go from the reps that we go. We do very few reps, but we go deep into the core muscles. And I can tell you, you can do 2 reps and be fried because you go so deep. So when people tell me that they do 200 reps of anything, I question very much of how it is that they're doing something. Now, we're not talking about elite athletes, right? That's a whole different category, even though I will tell you the concept of push and flow absolutely works for these athletes. And I encourage you to ask yourself, how many of the elite athletes that you know out there have injuries? Yeah. And how many of us get injured through our regular workouts? And especially as we age, you might have silly examples of how you got injured, how you hurt your knee, or you kicked the cover, the blanket, and suddenly you threw off your knee, or you sneezed and your back got thrown off, right? We've either experienced or know somebody who has experienced and shared these kind of stories. So when we talk about redefining fitness, that's what I mean. It's about the concept of pushing versus flowing. My favorite example of flow is if you can visually imagine a ballerina. A ballerina, the executions of the movement that she does are impressive. The mobility, the flexibility into the body are impressive. But what you see in the ballerina is you see grace, you see extension and length, right? You don't see a face. Now, is she an elite athlete? Absolutely. She is actually probably most elite than others because she has the combination of strength, flexibility, mobility. Now, do we see a lot of injuries into professional dancers? Absolutely. Why do you think that is? Because many of them are doing exercises or performing movements for which their body is not ready. And when we push, now the injury might not happen the first time. It might not happen the second time. But as you do it over time, the wear and tear into your body happens. And for somebody like an athlete or somebody who does repetitive motion over and over and over, if you're not doing it properly over and over and over, that amplifies the wear and tear. So this is very relevant to an elite athlete, to an average athlete, right? And the next time you go and do your workout, I want you to be really intentional of, are you pushing or are you flowing? Now let's quickly touch base into how does that reflect in life? If you're into the category of a pusher, so to say, I just made up a new word. When things don't go your way, how do you react or respond? Do you get really upset and you're going to push through because you're going to be determined and resilient to get it done? Or are you going to take whatever is happening as a lesson and allow it to guide you to your next opportunity? Acknowledge that whatever is happening does not define you. You're going to acknowledge whatever feelings and emotions arise. You're going to release those if they don't serve you. And you're going to continue to flow with life, with grace and high vibrations. Oh, I love this, you guys, because this is what I get to teach people, how to go from push into flow. And yes, it takes time, but my goodness, when you find it, like life changes. The way you see life changes. The way the world is changes. And you know what? Just like with the workout, when you show up in life in a way that nourishes you versus drains you, which way do you think you can serve your family better, your community better, the world better? When you push or when you flow? So your rebellious homework today is to become curious. Because you know where all of those changes start? They become with self-awareness. Self-awareness of where you are today. Now, if you find out that you're a pusher, now, how are pushers described in society? Type A, go-getters. Can you be a go-getter and flow? If like right now you're like, what? How does that work? Yes, you can, but it's not the way that we're trained. I'll tell you, I was having a conversation with a very successful client last week, and she made a comment of something like, I can either be really successful or I can take care of myself. And I'm like, no. This is what I talk about redefining success. The two are not mutually exclusive. You can be uber successful and you can flow and feel great. But see, we have created that notion in society and that stereotype that it's either this or that. No. Success and feeling great can absolutely go hand in hand. And I encourage you, tap in, be honest, don't go into judging yourself. Start taking those small steps. I gave you one. Tap into that breath. Tap into that awareness. And take small steps. You know what I always preach? Small and consistent steps. Small and consistent steps. That is what's going to change your life. So start. Every moment, every occurrence is an opportunity for you to attempt just a little bit better, to do a little bit better. And what do I mean by better? I mean better in terms of you feeling great. Better in terms of, well, when I did it this way, I don't feel as stressed. I don't feel as anxious. I don't feel as rattled. I feel calm. And life is still moving forward. So today, my rebellious definition of fitness is learn to flow versus push. My definition of success is be successful as you flow. And the same goes for aging. Age with grace and flow versus aches and pains and stiffness. Any questions I may answer, please do let me know. Make sure that we're connected on social. Please do share this episode with anyone who you believe may benefit from it. Because, man, I do know that there are many who can benefit from shifting that mindset from one of push to one of flow. I send you so much rebelliousness and love. Stay rebellious and keep flowing, my rebel. I'll see you later. Thank you for joining us on the Mind Body Podcast, where we explore the power of living authentically and rebelliously. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow rebellious soul who would love to hear what we share as much as you do. Stay strong, stay calm, and most importantly, stay rebellious. Until next time, rebellious souls, keep living fully. Your journey is just beginning.